Ay, ay. Welcome, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my little love letter to Robert DeLeo of the Stone Temple Pilots. And can we just say that that is a masterclass in tasty bass? Robert DeLeo is one of my favorite bass players, and I think it's because he probably has a lot of the same influences that I do, or bass players that I really enjoy their playing of. People like John Paul Jones and Verdine White of Earth, Wind and Fire. It's just, they always serve the song. They can be busy at times, but it's never really overplaying. It just always works. I mean, Verdine White is a monster player, but he's always laid back. Every once in a while, he'll throw in some, spanky licks. But it always serves the song, and it just flows, and it just makes life great everywhere. So Robert DeLeo pretty much uses a kitchen sink of techniques, including staccato and legato. He uses syncopation. And let's just examine this one little passage right here in the song, and we'll see all the different things that he's doing. He also uses ghost notes and open strings, and it's all going to be here, and it's going to go by real quick, and you're not even going to notice unless you're paying attention. So he starts out staccato, and I'm exaggerating for effect here. We go to syncopation. Legato, held out notes. Then we used a ghost note. Legato. Then we use an open note. And when he's doing that ascending line, he keeps hitting the open note. So there you go. It's just an absolute masterclass in tasty bass and combining all these different techniques to serve the song. The playing can be busy at times, but it always serves the song. It always pushes everything forward. It's totally, in sync with what the drummer's doing, and it's one of my favorite songs of all time. I kind of wish I wrote it. If anyone's interested, I'll show you what I used to record the song, and then we'll wrap this sucker up. Let's do that. Alright, so as always, I like to use as much stuff as possible that I have built myself. We plugged the bass guitar into the tonepriest clockwork matrix splitter mixer. So the bass guitar went into here, and then the signal gets split into 3, and I only used 2 outputs on this. Output 1, it was just the dry bass signal, went straight into the interface. Output 2 went into the tonepriest Shield version 3. This is a Diamond bass compressor clone, and this is a Trainer TS50 preamp. Now, if you go on YouTube, you can find a video that has isolated bass and drums for this song. And if you listen to his bass tone, there's not a lot of high end, but there's also a little bit of, I'm going to say overdrive or saturation or whatever. And I believe how he got that, he either used a Sans amp, or probably more likely if we're in the studio, and if the Equipboard websites are to be believed, he was probably driving an Ampeg B15 or an SVT a little bit hard, just to get a little bit of hair on the top end of his tone. And that has a natural compression to it to keep the spiky transients under control. But whatever. What I did was use this Trainer TS50 preamp And it has a little bit of the same idea. It has some, you can turn up the gain, and it gives a little bit of hair on the top end of the tone. So that's what we did there. And we'll do a proper demo of the Sheol at some point. But as you can see, I've built a few pedals for the bass guitar. Sheol 1, Sheol 2, Sheol 3, Sheol 4. We got a thing for Sheols. Y'alls. Anyway, you can get PCBs to build your own from Ion Effects. Go over there, check them out. Great place. Out of here, we went into the... It's not here right now. We went into Gallien-Kruger 400 RB. And then out of the GK, I had a direct line out going into input 2 of the interface. And then we mic'd up the Hartkey high drive 112 cab with a SM57. And that went into line 3. And we just kind of blended all those more or less almost evenly. We just kind of moved the sliders around a little bit to get a nice blend. And I think the key to getting Robert DeLeo tone is to just have a nice kind of, I don't want to say flat, but you know, no frequencies are overpowering any others, high, low, middle. It's just a nice round kind of flat tone. And it cuts through the mix really nicely. And voila, there you go, you heard it. Okay, here we are in our mix session. And as we discussed before, we have 3 separate bass guitar tracks. We have the plain Jane dry track, bass guitar straight into the interface. Then we have a second direct track coming out of the back of the Gallien-Kruger amplifier. So this is going to be post effects pedals and post tone stack of the amp. And then finally, the third track is the mic'd up track, SM57 in front of the Hartkey. All right, so for the plain Jane dry track, the effects we have are an impulse response. And I'll put it on the screen what these are. This IR package is. I got it for free, and they're fantastic. We're using an Ampeg SVT 810 impulse response, but another one that always sounds awesome is the Ampeg Heritage B15. It's scary how good that is. Again, I got that for free. I'll put a link down below and all that stuff. And then you're gonna see a pattern here. We're just doing a little bit of compression, and we have moderate attack, slow release, 4:1 ratio, all wet. We have the input set, so the needle is basically always living in this area around -2, -3. All right, so that's the dry track. The direct out of the amp track, same thing. Compressor, moderate attack, slow release, 4:1, all wet, and the input is set so the needle is at -2, -3. The mic'd up track, same thing. All right, so all 3 of the recorded bass tracks are going into a bus, and this is where the magic happens. And what I have done, I believe, this is supposedly the Andy Wallace method of mixing bass. So we're starting with an EQ. We're down at 42 hertz, and we're pumping that up quite a bit. And that's supposed to be the fundamental, the low E of the bass. And then so what we're doing with that is slamming a compressor with that. Now this compressor is very similar as before, except this time we're at 10:1. A little bit faster attack, slow release, input is set, so the needle is at -2, -3. All right, and I believe with that, the EQ, 42 hertz, blasting that into the compressor is just slamming the compressor, so it's basically always on, and you're not getting the pulsing. And we have a little bit of EQing here at this. What do we got here? 287 hertz. Trying to get a little bit of the definition of the low mids. Go away, go away. Then we're limiting. Now, I have not paid for any plugins. I'm using all free plugins that are available on the internet, other than the Steven Slate drums, which we're not using here. And this technically is a paid plugin, but thanks to Dr. Bobby Huff, on one of his videos, he said, hey, if you go sign up for this beta for the Cornef L1 limiter, you can get it for free. So I did that, and I did. So technically for me, this is free, but it's a great limiter. And if you press that, you get this side, adding a little presence. Input shape is normal. Negative 3.2, there you go. Out of the limiter, got a channel strip here, doing a little bit more EQing. And then a little bit of final EQing at the very end. And again, we're pumping that low mid to try and get the definition around the A string, that area there. That's it. That's all she wrote. That's how it's done, or how I did it. May not be the best in the world, but I don't think it's the worst. That's for damn sure. All right, moving on. All right, let's check out the bass while we're here. All right, here we are with the man's own bass. Schecter Diamond Series Model T Studio. Back in the day, before Robert DeLeo was a Stone Temple pilot, he worked at the Schecter Guitar Factory, and he designed his own bass guitar, and he used that sucker on just about everything you've ever heard him do. And I had an opportunity back during COVID. I was flush with cash. We had those, well, you know what we had. Saw this come up on, I think I got it from eBay. And it's a second, or a B stock. And I have absolutely no idea why, because it was in absolutely perfect condition. I think there was like one spot where there was like a speck of dirt in the clear coat, but I just scratched it off and buffed it a little bit, and it was absolutely invisible. But, yeah, if you can get a B stock of one of these and save yourself a few bucks, then go for it. This I did myself. Oops. But anyway, never mind that. Schecter, I don't believe they still do the Robert DeLeo Signature Series. This came out after. I believe he was no longer affiliated with them. So they just got rid of the Signature Series. And it's just this Schecter Model T Studio. And it's an absolutely fantastic bass guitar. Active EMG pickups, 18 volts. We have volume, we have blend between the two pickups, and then we have basic treble controls. This is absolutely one of the nicest, let me get you in here, one of the nicest necks on any bass guitar I've ever played in my life. Not that I've played a million, but this neck is absolutely awesome. Here's the back ash body, I believe. And yeah, just a great, great instrument. If you're into the whole PJ thing, and let's face it, who isn't? But there you go. Schecter Model T Studio. Awesome instrument. Alright, fellas, that's all I got. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you real soon. Rock on and prosper.
Done!